Hello, everybody. Yay! This is the part where the editor puts in a big cheer. Yay! Salutations, spice savants and supper seekers. Welcome back to Eater's Digest. How do you like that? Not a whole lot of time to mess around. Let's get straight into the news this time. First things first, a big chef's kiss to the marketing team at Shark Ninja who have altered the laws of thermodynamics. Did a 12-year-old come up with that brand name? I want to call the company Shark Ninja Frankenstein. This is the frying pan company that was sued for claiming temperatures that rival the sun. Shark Ninja, the company behind Shark vacuums and Ninja blenders, they're one company. It's called Shark Ninja, and they came up with some pans that have ads like this that say that they were heated to 30,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Just one problem, that is hotter than the surface of the sun. So let's see here. By the way, this is written by Emma Roth, who covers streaming wars, consumer tech, crypto, and much more. Yep, this is the Shark Ninja company. Instead of making its pans at a measly 900 degree temperature that other brands use, Shark Ninja says it heats up the cookware to a minimum of 30,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That process, according to Shark Ninja, fuses plasma ceramic particles to the surface of the pan, creating a super hard textured surface that interlocks with our exclusive coating for a superior bond. First of all, what is that exclusive coating? Because I'm guessing that this is more of a matter of like that bond than the actual coating. Like if I don't know. What I'm trying to say is like if the top layer, that actual coating is just regular Teflon, who cares, right? But Patricia Brown, the person who filed this lawsuit, isn't buying it. As cited in Brown's lawsuit, NASA recently said that the surface of the sun is a blistering hot 10,340 degrees Fahrenheit, meaning Shark Ninja's manufacturing process reaches about 3 times that temperature. Brown argues that heating up Shark Ninja's pans to this temperature is a physical impossibility, given that aluminum vaporizes into gas at 4,478 degrees Fahrenheit. The lawsuit also points out that Shark Ninja advertises the pan as oven safe up to only 500 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's exactly what I mean about this is I think that the coating itself is only safe up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. So who really cares, right? It's still going to off-gas all that toxic stuff. It's really just saying like, oh, we use some kind of very cool technology to bond it at a really hot temperature. It's sort of like, I talked about this in an Extranet Shaquille video one time where there was an ad for Manscaped, those pubic hair razors, and one of the ad copy perks of the product was it's got a 5,000 K light on it. And that sounds cool if you don't know what it is, but K just stands for Kelvin, and that just refers to the temperature of the light. So it could be 5,000, it could be 3,000. Who cares? You could just put a blue LED on it and be like, it's a 10,000 K light. But here is the twist. While Shark Ninja's claims may seem outrageous, the company might not actually be fibbing. This really old article from the Washington Post describes a ceramic coating process that sounds close to what Shark Ninja advertises. This is Stuck on Nonstick by Robert L. Woke, another woke journalist. The newest high-tech wrinkle in non-stickiness is a coating called ceramic titanium, developed in Denmark and used on Scanpan cookware, a mixture of titanium and ceramic so hot, 30,000 degrees, that their atoms are broken down into a cloud of charged particles. That's then fired at supersonic speed onto an aluminum pan where it anchors itself right into the metal, making an extremely hard, unscratchable surface. Titanium is 3 or 4 times harder than stainless steel, and ceramics are almost as hard as diamonds. Here's my problem. Who cares, right? If the coating that goes on top of that is what actually flakes off, right? It's like, oh, I came up with a new Teflon glue that glues it to pans permanently forever. But the ceramic itself can still flake off, right? The problem with this story is we still don't really know where it ends. Shark Ninja could be telling the truth here according to this technology that they might be using, but we don't know if that's exactly what they're using because the author has reached out to Shark Ninja for more information but has not heard back. I don't think Brown will win this lawsuit, but I'm hoping that it's at least high profile enough that Shark Ninja has to divulge a little bit more information behind what's going on. Well, I'm sure many of you heard about this next story. We are 86ing every modern cook's decades-long quest of collecting every single Le Creuset item. That's because Costco is selling a 157-piece Le Creuset kitchen set for $4,500. This is written by Grace Dean. Look at all this delightful stuff that you can get for a mere $4,500. I feel like these 5 things alone, if you own this many things, somebody's going to be like, bit of a Le Creuset fanboy. in it. But then you start busting out the crepe maker with, what is that wooden thing called? And what is this, for baking bread? I feel like anybody who bought this would have to spend years just trying to figure out what each individual thing does and how it differs from the last thing. Oh, here we go. Dutch ovens of different sizes, various other oven-proof baking, 6 assorted frying pans and saucepans, 2 stock pots, a whistling kettle, and a French press, mixing bowls, ramekins, 2 cookbooks, a number of utensils, including spatulas, ladles, wooden spoons, and measuring cups, a 32-piece dining set consisting of soup bowls, pasta bowls, salad plates, dinner plates, as well as 8 mugs, all in Le Creuset's signature shade of red. Can you imagine what your home would look like? Everything from the kitchen to the dining room, just bright, mirror's edge red. Oh, hold up. Okay, Amazon sells a 9-piece set in this cherry red color for $1,199. So $1,200 giving you a 6-piece set, or $4,500 for a 157-piece set. You do the math. This is how it arrives. 3 gigantic boxes on the pallet. By the way, you do get to keep the pallet, so factor that in. I feel like they buried the lead here because the pie bird, which sells for $16, is included, and none of these photos give you a good close-up of the pie bird. It's way down here, the bottom left. A little ceramic open-mouthed bird that you can bury in the middle of your pie to provide a nice venting mechanism. The set has no reviews on Costco's website. By the way, I looked this up on Costco's website, and it's gone. It shows up for a brief second, and it is gone. And before you say, oh no, you've doxed yourself, you fool, I would never actually put in my actual location. Other unexpected items Costco sells includes 1-ounce bars of 24-karat gold, which many company execs say sell out within hours. I actually know a little bit about this, the gold bars. It's a reasonable spot price for an ounce of gold. The reason why people buy it is because if there's ever a deal at Costco where it's like, hey, if you spend $500, you get a gift card or something like that, you can just buy the gold bar. And it's just like, hey, can I buy some money? Yes? Okay, then I'll just do that. Anyway, how about a big chef's kiss for eaters and drinkers abroad who have gamified their daily bread? This British man has been drinking 2,000 pints over 200 days just to see if he could do it. Yes, this comes from reputable news site boredpanda.com. I'm hurting for news articles. Help me. 25-year-old John May challenged himself to drink 2,000 pints in 200 days, posted it all on TikTok so that people could watch, and got a little bit of notoriety. How many calories did that come out to? There he is. 7,936 pounds total cost for all this, and 361,088 calories. Here's the deal. I keep telling you guys to start a YouTube channel or a TikTok account covering your favorite pastimes. If you love car repair, just film yourself doing car repair. You'll be able to do a tax write-off that's like 30% all of your car repairs and all of your parts and pieces. This guy's got a 30% discount on all the beers for the rest of his life, which might not be very long because he's drinking 10 pints a day. But here's somebody who's doing even better. This man was arrested for faking a heart attack 20 times at restaurants to avoid paying the bill. Alicante, Spain. A 50-year-old man from Lithuania was recently arrested in Spain after allegedly faking heart attacks in several restaurants to avoid paying the bill, according to local news reports. Here's the deal. The man is locally known as Gastrojeta. So he's been doing this so much that people walk around and they're just like, there he goes. The guy who fakes heart attacks for free meals. If he keeps getting away with it, why not? He's got a nickname and everything, and yet it's working. Until now, actually. He ordered 2 whiskeys and a seafood paella, which is about $36 US. He attempted to leave without paying, but the restaurant staff stopped him and noted how he needed to pay the bill, according to EFE, citing El Buen Comer manager. I'm never going to read that. The scammer became visibly upset, and he said he was going to go get the money from his hotel room, but when staff refused to let him leave without paying, the man dramatically threw himself onto the ground and pretended to have a heart attack. The staff was not fooled because they knew this is El Gastrojeta. They called the police instead of an ambulance, and the man was recognized by the local authorities as well. The restaurateurs said that the man doesn't speak Spanish very well, but he does understand it, and he was indeed recognized as a repeat offender. He was arrested multiple times in the city of Alicante. His MO was always the same, getting a free meal. The man was taken into custody and the case was handed over to the local judiciary. The police spokesperson added that they were aware of the man being sent to prison, but they didn't know how long for or if he was now free. Dine and dashing is actually on the rise, according to a little bit of research that I see on SoLink. Says that 5% of people have dined and dashed before, so they're trying to come up with new payment apps. Like there's one called Invisibill. Like you sign up before you sit down at your table and you're able to pay whenever ready. That way you're not left wondering what to do if the bill is taking so long to come, like this person. Woman's reaction after waiting an hour for bill at restaurants divides the internet. This is somebody who's posting on TikTok saying, when's the appropriate time to dine and dash because we've been waiting for the bill for 45 minutes. And people could not really come to one unified conclusion about whether or not it's ever acceptable to dine and dash. In this scenario where there's a funeral party walking out on $542 restaurant tab, we know that that's not very good. In the scenarios in which this restaurant confronts and films all of their dine and dash customers and then puts them on their Facebook wall of shame. I guess people are doing it often enough that it necessitates that. But at least this is something that everybody can kind of get behind as a shameful activity. Whereas if the person who is supposed to give you the tab never shows up, what are you supposed to do? Lauren acknowledged that her meal was decent despite the wait, writing, "Hot pot was gassed though." The two waited an additional 45 minutes, making the total wait time about 90 minutes for the bill. I see that you guys are coming to the same conclusion that I came to, which is this whole like faking heart attack to get a free meal will never be a problem in the US unless you're eating like Nobu omakase every night, because an ambulance costs $10,000 here. Americans are more concerned about horking down dinner by 6 and getting home to watch some Paramount Plus. In fact, this article, called Why 6 p.m. is the New 8 p.m. for Restaurants, details that. A new study of 6 prominent fine dining chains confirms Danny Meyer's theory. By the way, Danny Meyer's, what's his whole thing? He started Shake Shack, right? Danny Meyer is the Shake Shack founder, and he tweeted, "When did a 6 o'clock dinner reservation become the new 8 o'clock most prized table of the night? And will it last?" Then, the Capitol Grill, Ruth's Chris, Cooper's Hawk, Saltgrass Steakhouse, Fogo de Chao, all of these sort of corporate steakhouses are finding, people want to eat earlier here. So according to this research, the hot new time slots fall between the hours of 4 and 7, with way less frequency at that 8 o'clock hour that used to be the most prized. I always saw 5 o'clock as dinner time. At least as a kid, it's like, oh, 5 o'clock is dinner time. But now 5 o'clock is get off work time. And so some people are saying that a contributing factor could be that more people are working from home. So it's like, oh, you get off at 5? Eat dinner at 5. There's no need to like spend an hour driving at home. There's more schedule flexibility. You're not restricted by commuting times. And they're also, how do I say this? They're also attributing a portion of this to what they're calling the Netflix effect. They're saying that there's more entertainment content to come home and watch, so you want to eat dinner early and get home and watch that. I don't know if I buy that, because Netflix is a streaming service that's also not limited by time. It's not like you have to watch it at a specific time. Post-pandemic urban recovery, where fine dining establishments typically reside, seem to be aided by Gen Z and millennials, many of whom have young families, which drive the need for earlier dining times. Speculation exists for whether or not this is a lasting trend or just staying in line with the American culture of dining earlier than our European counterparts. I don't know if you've ever been to Spain. Those freakers will eat dinner at midnight. It's crazy. Europeans are up eating dinner very late. Here comes the sad story of the week. There's no way Panera's charged lemonade doesn't get 86th after this. The family is suing Panera Bread after a college student who drank their charged lemonade dies. Panera Bread is being sued for failing to appropriately warn customers of the ingredients in their charged lemonade. By the way, their charged lemonade, it started in September 2022, and it has a whole bunch of caffeine in it. It is a caffeinated lemonade. And you'll find a lot of parallels to last week's story about the hot chip challenge, where it was somebody who had a medical condition, maybe not paying attention to the warnings. Sarah Katz is the person who died, and she had a known heart condition called long QT syndrome type 1 and avoided caffeinated drinks at her doctor's recommendation. Even her friends were like, yeah, she never drinks energy drinks. The American Heart Association describes long QT as a disorder of the heart's electrical system that can cause abnormal heart rhythms as a result of exercise or stress. So they advertise this as a plant-based and clean drink with the same amount of caffeine as a cup of the restaurant's dark roast coffee. The problem is a cup of dark roast coffee is like 8 to 12 ounces. This lemonade, look at this thing, that's like 32 ounces at 390 milligrams, the size of the large drink. There's more caffeine than standard energy drinks such as Monster or Red Bull. Additionally, it contains 30 teaspoons of sugar, dear God, 30 teaspoons of sugar, and guarana extract. So that's another stimulant on top of it. Panera's website markets the drink as the ultimate energy drink, and the lawsuit is outstanding. I don't think that they win this lawsuit. Right there, it tells you how many milligrams of caffeine. 32 ounces is a bit much, though. That's quite large. 390 milligrams of caffeine. That's like 2 Monster Energy drinks, right? Because 200 is like the standard dosage. The lemonade aspect will have you thinking it's not that bad. How much is in Gamer Subs? Like 200, right? I feel like everything Ghost Prime, it's all 200. Okay, so 200 is standard and 300 is like the extreme. But anyway, the big takeaway here is that I finally had the foresight not to end on a bummer, because our final story, it gives a big chef's kiss to chicken soup, eternally hailed as the chicken soup for the body. Does chicken soup really help when you're sick, or is it just a soothing placebo? A dietitian explains the science behind the universal comfort food. Kind of a little silly billy goofy article for you. Basically, the takeaway here is that it will improve your appetite. People with respiratory infections can often eat less, and while the cause is not entirely understood, the inflammation of the sinus cavities and the difficulty of breathing affects our smell, which then in turn affects our taste or desire for food. And eating foods rich in umami flavors and glutamates helps to spur the appetite, while also increasing satiety. It may reduce inflammation and stuffy nose. I could use a little bit right now. And it can potentially aid in increased nutrient digestion, which will then help with gastrointestinal symptoms. But this article does note that all soups are not created equal. Canned or overly processed soups exclude a lot of nutrients from vegetables or fresh herbs. I know that they certainly won't have like the collagen and the gelatin from a freshly made chicken stock. So you should try homemade or look for low, lightly processed, high vegetable content brands. My take is the placebo effect really even that bad? I don't understand this propensity to like quantify how much chicken noodle soup might actually help you, when it's just like, hey, if it turns out that it is all placebo effect, the placebo effect works. That's its whole big claim to fame. It makes you feel better, and I'm okay with that. That's the end of the stream, folks. We did it. Another stream in the books. Perhaps when I edit this one down, it'll be like 6 minutes instead of 16.